Hi everybody, this is Adrian Cuevas with Detail Maniac. Going to be showing you guys how to install Carlas USA's GT Series matte film on this fender of this Tesla Model Y. Alright, so first things first is we're going to clean the surface of the film, or the fender. Just getting all this dust that's on it. Make sure it's a clean surface. Working from the top down. I am using slip solution and a squeegee to clean the fender off. Ensure that there's going to be minimum amount of debris, hairs, dust. I'll strain it down again. And I'm going to get the film and put the film on the fender. What I'm doing is I'm going to be laying it on, trying to get it as flat as possible. Looking at my material, trying to flatten it out. Essentially what I'm going to do, so when I'm in a good spot, some people can go from the bottom and work their way up to the top. On this one I'm going to work from the top down. Less chance of me getting any dirt or debris. So I'm going to lock in my corner, set this out, smooth it out again. Working from the body line. It's a little too tacky. That's good. That's good. All right, so now I'm going to work into this recess here and tack it. And I'm going to push my thumb into it. That way I can maximize that little crevice there. And then work my way out of there. So the beauty of Carlas USA, this film, it's very user-friendly. It responds exactly the way you want it to. Very minimum amount of issues as far as workability. Very forgiving. Ones I've used in the past are very temperamental when it comes to using like a tack solution. We use straight distilled water. Others would require you to put distilled water and alcohol, only because that is the only way it'll bite. But this distilled water, does what it wants, what I want it to do. So here I'm just kind of working around that edge, flattening it out. Work over here, getting that finger out of the way. I don't want it to bother me later. So now I'm going to attack the bottom. I don't want this to go anywhere. A little more soap. So what I'm doing is I'm pulling it down. That way it removes those fingers, those nasty fingers. And tap on this edge here. I'm going to seal it. I'll come back to that later. Alright, so now come back over here and relieve all this tension with these fingers and pull it this way. More soap. My tack again. I'm going to tack down this corner over here. I'm going to pull, leave all that tension. use my hand as a temporary squeegee, get all those air pockets out. Tack this down, come over here, same thing, pull those fingers out, tack this part, makes my life a lot easier. Get this body line. Little fold here. Okay. So now, once I get that, I'll work this little valley here upwards. I'll drop in my tack bottle. Get this section down. Okay, so got a little issue right there, but I'll take care of that in a minute. I'm just working this down. So now that I got all this up, but I noticed that there's some fingers here, I'm going to take care of those fingers right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put more tack, and what I'm going to do is I'm basically going to coach these fingers down, and see, no more fingers. So I'm going to work it into this recess again. And what I like to do is, once I'm all said and done, especially on the edges, on the satin, you got to make sure that you get most of these edges worked down so that it looks like there's no gloss peeking out. Is I'll lift this up again and I'm going to jam this edge in. And that makes it so that when it dries, it's a lot easier for me to trim back and it's all tucked in. Same thing over here. I'm going to lift it up, put some tack in there, and I'm going to jam it in there. All right. So now I have some dry spot right here, which isn't a problem. What I'm going to do, like I said, this film is very forgiving. I'm going to pull it back. I'm going to put some soap on there. I'm just going to lay it back down. I'm going to work this out. More tack. And so now that I lifted it, I'm going to work that edge that I lifted so I don't get a crease. I'm going to work my way back up again. More tack there. I'm going to lift this up and I'm going to let it relax and fold onto itself. That way it doesn't pull and it's not fighting you, it's going to relax. Same thing over here. Like I said, is I'm going to work it into that edge and let it kind of bite down. That way when I come back later with my knife, I can cut that open. I'm going to get this part here. Get all that soap out of there. And we're going to just seal that up. Okay. Now I'm going to come back to that hole for the camera. So I'm going to take my knife, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut an entry point. Some like to do just one little slit. I like to give it a little bit more. That way I can fit my nozzle in there. Okay. So, I'm going to get my tack again. Spray in there. Be very careful that you don't pull too much because you don't want that to rip. So I'm going to take my thumb again. I'm just going to get into that corner. Same thing down here. I'm just going to push it into that edge. At the top, one more time, and this is sealed. Now that it's sealed, there's a lot of tension right here, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the entry hole for the camera. That way I don't have to worry about it later. Now, some people like to let this stuff dry. Me personally, I like to trim this up, give it about 1/4 of an inch of an edge. So I'm going to cut the fat off of this and then tuck everything. That way, just ensure, like if somewhere were to close the door, it doesn't grab the film and doesn't damage it, and then we're just back to square one. So I'm going to come over to this corner here. I'm going to cut a little slit on there from the top, giving me some space from the edge there. Like I said, I'm going to hold it and I'm going to give it about 1/4 of an inch. Just kind of follow the body line of the car, pulling it down, giving it just a visual measurement of it. Being very careful not to score the paint. Okay, so that's all said and done. Gonna get my tack one more time. Open this door a little bit wider. And you'll lift it up. I'm gonna spray it in there. If you spray your finger, it acts as a little dam, so it sprays it right into there. And we don't have to fight the edge there. But, all right. Here at Detail Maniac, we use these lint-free towels, especially when we're tucking the film in, because it's very thin and, like I said, it's lint-free. So the last thing you're going to worry about is getting any lint or any particles inside the film. Plus, it wonders on your hands. You're not pushing on the edge, essentially burning everything, or pushing down a little bit too hard, damaging the film. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start at this upper edge here, and I'm going to work it over. And then I'm just going to kind of little by little kind of work it back over itself, securing that it tucks and it doesn't pop up later. Now at the bottom it might start to come up. It's not a problem as long as you close your door and you get to it after it's all said and dry. So essentially that's how I do my fenders. You're welcome to do it any other way that you guys see fit. A lot of people, like I said, they'll leave it over the door and let everything dry and then cut it once everything's said and dry. Me personally, I like to do it this way. Like, so if I have to move on to the next project, like if I have to put film on this door, I don't have overlapping pieces of film and I can keep on moving forward. Thanks guys for watching. Stay tuned for more of our how-tos at Carlas USA.